Your favorite Amazon niche?
Household items.
Which Amazon marketplace is the next big opportunity?
Japan.
Organic sales or ad sales?
Organic sales.
Hello, I'm John Cavendish, and welcome back to the Amazon Strategist Show. So the show that's all strategy and no hacks, no silver bullets, and no magic pills, just real strategy for serious Amazon sellers. So today I'm joined by Tyler Gregg, Director of Operations at Amped. That's AMPD if you want to Google him, and a serial speech giver at e-commerce events around the world. Tyler and his team have built the first full service solution that uses data science to attribute Google leads to Amazon so you can track what's happening between Google and your Amazon listings and Amazon account. Welcome, Tyler.
Hey, John. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to kind of talk some Google ads today and kind of what some Amazon sellers are doing to successfully leverage it. Love the intro there around not being around hacks and, true strategies. And I think that really aligns a lot with what AMP does. Is we're actually directly partnered with Amazon themselves in helping. Obviously, Amazon has Amazon attribution in beta, and they've partnered with us to kind of bring that attribution to a lot of sellers. So everything we do has to be very TOS compliant, no hacks, because we'll lose our partnership with Amazon. So I love that this show is all about, true strategies and no gray area black hat stuff.
Thanks, Tyler. So yeah, that's what we're all about. I think too much people focus on, let's just build the business, make revenue. And then when you talk to them about cash or how much money they're actually putting into the bank account, there might be very little or none, or they're below zero right now. That's one of our pillars here at the Amazon Strategist Show is we focus on strategy and the fundamentals of building a business. As we all figured out, if you were a seller in the past, were you a seller in the past?
I was not a seller in the past, but I think that's such an interesting thing to say. And I think it's kind of lost a lot in this today's world of valuations, right? To where it's race for revenue, at least on the tech side. Obviously, AMP's a tech platform, and it's so easy to get dragged into investor conversations where it's burn through money, grow revenue, don't worry about profitability. And I come from kind of old school business, which is what you have to do to be successful on Amazon. Is your revenue exceeding your cost, and are you making money? It's always funny, having those conversations of, I'm just trying to grow revenue as quickly as possible. It's like, no, where's your business fundamentals?
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Like whether that's ever what's going to happen at the end. But, this could continue forever for the next 10, 20 years. So no idea.
Yep.
I just find it very interesting that I'm investing in companies.
Come to shove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like companies with the same revenue as us are worth 5 times the amount just because they're called a tech company.
So exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So we actually talk to a lot of Amazon PPC experts, and they usually talk about, hacks, to be honest, or internal traffic. So why should someone use external traffic over internal traffic?
And for us, it's really not external over internal. It's really external and internal. And, Amazon ads is a great place to start. Every Amazon seller should be on Amazon ads. But when you really kind of want to start thinking about external traffic, or specifically Google ads, which is obviously my expertise, is when you're starting to see Amazon ads becoming too expensive. Obviously, in the last couple of years, it's really, the cost per click's really driven up. Google hasn't gone up as much. And so you can find less expensive clicks on Google. Now, you do need to do your Amazon ads. And when we think about the A9 ranking algorithm, Amazon loves external traffic. They definitely reward from a ranking perspective with external traffic, but they also reward when you pay for Amazon ads. So the way we think about it is have your Amazon ads program running, make sure that's fine-tuned, make sure it's optimized, make sure you're doing all the foundational things you have to do on Amazon, good product listings, et cetera. And then Google ads is supplemental. It's a great way to amp up your business and amp up your products. Forgive the pun there, but it's incremental. And what we see happens is, if you have your lake, right, or your balloon, and then you blow in a little bit more air, which is Google ads, all of a sudden that balloon, your revenue can incrementally expand a little bit. So that's how we think about Google. And that's how we think about, when a seller should bring it on. Is it's not the first thing you do. It's not the only thing you do, but it's incremental to what you're already doing from a ranking perspective.
So thanks for making that clarification. And I guess that brings up two kind of questions. One's about attribution. And then the other one is like kind of percentages or the percentage of different traffic, different budget you'd be assigning to Google versus Amazon. Do you do them as a percentage of one another, or do you do it based on the volume of Google search?
Yeah, it's obviously indicative of the search volume on Google. If people are not looking for your product on Google Ads, probably not worthwhile investing in Google Ads. The chances are that they are looking for your product, right? There's over 8 billion searches per day on Google. There's a high likelihood someone's looking for your product and they're starting their search on Google. Additionally, we also see people start their Amazon searches on Google as well, to where I do it myself as a consumer. I'm lazy. Instead of pulling up my laptop and typing into the browser, Amazon.com, waiting for Amazon to load, and then typing into Amazon search engine, coffee cup, I just go to Google and say coffee cup Amazon, and I start my search there. So those are really great kind of low hanging fruit for a lot of sellers to tap into. It's less competitive keywords. So a lot of times they're less expensive. We see they're about 30 to 40% less expensive when you have Amazon in the keyword. But again, there has to be search volume. And that's one of the things AMP does pretty well, is helping sellers understand how much people are searching for their products on Google. The first question you had, though, was around attribution. And this is an area where it's new to a lot of sellers. I have these conversations all the time. John, you and I were talking earlier around, I go to conferences and I go to events and I speak at some of these events, and so many people come up to me afterwards and say, I've been selling on Amazon for a decade. I had no idea you could do Google to Amazon, right? And the reason is, historically, you've been able to do it, but there's been no way to actually track the conversions. About a year and a half, maybe a little over 2 years ago now, Amazon rolled out Amazon attribution. It's been out for about 2 years. It's still in beta. So there's still some kinks that Amazon's working through. But the issue that even that program has is Amazon and Google can't actually talk to each other due to privacy reasons. So the attribution data is very, very limited. What AMP does is we act as an intermediary between Amazon and Google. And we're the first solution in the world that actually allowed those two giant beasts to actually be able to talk to each other. And with that, our attribution data is more accurate and it's more granular, giving you keyword level conversion data. So you can create a campaign on Google, have 20 keywords in that campaign, the budget split between those 20 keywords. Some of those keywords are going to convert, some of those keywords are not. And what AMP reveals is we pull back that curtain, revealing which keywords are actually efficient. So you can have a really strong ACoS and you can do it profitably.
Cool. So, that brings out a lot of questions for me. Going down the angle of, I guess, AMP then, does it do AI-based bid optimization, or does it just give you the data and then you kind of have to optimize the bids yourself?
Yeah, kind of a combination. As with any campaign, there is some human management to it, right? Like you always want to have that human oversight. AMP takes care of all the bidding. We deploy automated bidding to try to get you the lowest cost per click as possible, and just remove the manual hours of actually having to set bids. Does a really good job in being as competitive as possible. But a consumer does need to create the campaign, and they do need to kind of keep an eye on where the keyword's going so they can move the budget around accordingly. We have a done for you service that can help you. We have a lot of education that can help sellers learn how to do it themselves, learn how to think about Google. And we also partner with a lot of agencies as well. So you can always ask your agency if they're AMP certified. And if they're AMP certified or they want to become AMP certified, they can talk to us and they can manage the campaigns on the seller's behalf.
I like that. I like the AMP certified thing. That's so cool. How did you come up with that?
Yeah.
Who came up with that?
So what we kind of realized was, originally we started saying, hey, we're going to build this as a self-serve solution for sellers to do. And then we had so many sellers just take it, create their account, and then ask their agency to do it for them. And what we saw was agencies were implementing Amazon ads best practices, but not Google ads best practices. And so the results weren't great. So we started working with the agencies to understand why they were doing certain actions, quickly realized the why. So what we decided was, hey, why don't we set this up to where we'll teach these agencies exactly what they need to do and how to think about Google, because most Amazon agencies have never done Google ads before because you couldn't do Google to Amazon, right? And we have this 7 years ish now of building Google ads tech. We know Google ads inside and out. So we're pretty well positioned to put together some education, training program, and then the certification process so that when a seller wants to do Google ads, but they don't want to do it themselves, they can just ask their agency and their agency can manage it, because it's the same as Amazon ads in the sense of most sellers just have their agency do it and they don't want to touch Amazon ads. They don't want to touch Google ads either. They want someone to do it for them.
Nice. So I guess if someone wanted to give this a go, apart from looking at your education, which is obviously the number one thing to do, what kind of keywords and targeting are you starting with? Is it all buy intent keywords, like exact match, or is it like more broad than that?
Yes. And that's one of the biggest tricks. I'm so glad you asked this question, John, because this was one of the things that we realized people got wrong at the beginning was when we think about Google, there's this whole full search funnel on Google ads. Whereas on Amazon ads, everything's bottom of the funnel, which is why you see, 30% conversion rates. I think I saw a stat that like 40% of Amazon searches end up in a purchase or something ridiculous. It's definitely not that way on Google, because on Google, people are researching, they're educating themselves, and then they're buying. So the trick with Google ads is you have to find very product intent searches. A really easy example, as we come up on the 4th of July here in the United States, is on, or I don't know when this is going to be released, but right now it's almost the 4th of July here in the States. And keywords on Amazon that can work really well if you're selling like, I don't know, like party supplies or something like that. Or let me think of something more specific. If you're selling, just call it a firework, you're probably not selling too many fireworks on Amazon, but you could do 4th of July gifts as a keyword on Amazon, and someone can search that and they can browse through the pictures, find the firework that they like, and then purchase it. Whereas on Google, if you do 4th of July gifts, they have not told Google any insight into what kind of gifts they want. Do they want something that explodes? Do they want something for kids? Do they want something for their kitchen table? Do they want decorations? So what you have to do on Google is you have to be very specific with like firework gifts or fireworks that explode or something very, very specific. And that's what works really well, because that person who's searching it, they've literally told Google what they're looking for. And now you're going to come up with a great ad. You're going to give them probably 2-day shipping, and you're going to give them a pretty good price and good shopping experience. And their credit card's probably already saved on Amazon too. So you have all those things working well for you once you can find the strong keywords.
Nice. So I can imagine like buying lots of good buy intent keywords. What about just out of my interest, like review keywords? Do they convert into sales? Like I'm looking for a review of this product.
Yes, sometimes and sometimes not. And this is where the power of the keyword level conversion data that AMP provides helps. Is, some people can have a lot of success on, like, it's so hard to think of like consumer products right now, but like call it like a candle. Like you could type in on Google best candles, and that could work really well, or it could be a total waste. And it's clearly people are just researching and they're price shopping and whatnot. That one's hit or miss. We've seen it work really well for some products, and we've seen it work not too well on other products. And that's why we always point to, hey, worth a try, test for 30 or so days, get the data that AMP provides, and then decide whether it works. And that's one of the things, and most Amazon sellers get this, is because they've never done Google ads to Amazon before, there's no historical data. So you do have to buy the data. You do have to test for the first 1 to 2 months and see what works. And then AMP's going to give you the data to give you the 100% confidence in what works, but more importantly, what doesn't work. And then you can double down in the right areas.
Cool. So I guess what's the statistical significance with Google data? Like how many clicks do you need before you're like, whether it's going to work or not, and how much you need to spend? Well, times by cost per click. Yeah.
So the very kind of rudimentary way of thinking about it, and what we teach our sellers right now is if you have if you have a keyword that has an ad cost of 1 to 2 times the price of the products, but AMP's not showing any add to carts or any conversions. So no leading indicators that this is on the right track. That's when we say, hey, move away from that keyword and push it into another keyword. So you can continue testing all your different keywords and hopefully find the winners. Soon here in the future, AMP's releasing probabilistic keyword modeling. And what that does is it's our data science engine that we've had for about 4 or 5 years now for D2C stores. Now we're bringing that to Amazon sellers. And what it does is it scores every single keyword in your campaign using our data science engine, our probabilistic modeling on what the likely future performance is going to be, and then determines whether or not that's a strong keyword or whether it's a bad keyword, totally removing any kind of human bias or anything like that and just pure raw data. What does the data say is going to work? So we have the rudimentary way now of 1 to 2 times the price of the product. And very soon we've got the data-driven way of actually determining when you should move away from keywords or when you should hold out and see if it's going to convert.
Cool. So what you said there, you mentioned that you can track add to carts as well as conversions. What can you track?
Yeah. So part of the beauty of the platform is we stitch the Google data and Amazon data together into one spot. So you see your impressions, clicks, costs, click-through rate, all that Google data that you would want from understanding, how the ad's performing. And then we bring in add to cart and conversion data, and we calculate the ACoS or ROAS, depending on how you think about it, right in a platform. So add to carts is a great one. It's a leading indicator. One of the things that we do see is because we have that data, sometimes when we send traffic to a product listing page, people will get a ton of add to carts, call it in a month, just call it 100 add to carts, but only 20 conversions over a month. And what happens in those situations is it's a product, they come in, someone adds it to cart, but then scrolls down and looks at all the competition and then ends up maybe buying something from someone else. That can help from a ranking perspective because Amazon's saying, hey, we got a customer. Thanks for bringing that person in. So you can get some rank rewards. But from a direct ACoS perspective, you have a little bit of a funnel leak. So because we have the add to cart data, a lot of the times we actually recommend our sellers create transactional Amazon storefront pages. And what this does is you can obviously feature your product. You can have the add to cart button. You can have all your rich A+ content, but no competition on your page. And we see that works really well in improving the add to cart to conversion rate. So that, next month you can get those 100 add to carts, definitely great indicator that people want your product, but now you can use your Amazon storefront to convert them at a more efficient rate. So, hopefully you can get that to, 100 add to carts, maybe 60 or 70 conversions.
Yeah, I love that. That is an amazing tip. That's definitely one of the major extracts of, and that's also an amazing tip for anyone that wants to run any kind of banner ads, any kind of direct product ads, like running it to a storefront lander is by far the best way of, basically creating a proper landing page, isn't it? Inside Amazon.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Our background is, I'm not an Amazon seller, but our background is Google Ads to D2C stores. And the 3 core principles of running those kind of campaigns is a good campaign to a D2C store is the keywords, the ad copy, and then the landing page experience, right? And then now, because Amazon started letting sellers actually build out branded Amazon storefronts, you can customize that landing page experience. And we see it can have a 2 to 3 times better conversion rates because you customize the page, you educate your consumer, maybe alleviating people picking the wrong size or, ending up returning it later, but then also no competition around as well. So we love Amazon storefront pages. They have to be set up the right way. I see a lot of sellers have their storefront set up with like shoppable images and lifestyle images, which looks great, aesthetically. But then what happens is the consumer has to click on the shoppable image and they still go to the product listing. What you can do is you can use product grid layouts or featured product sections on your Amazon storefront. And that allows you to have the actual add to cart button right there on your page. So when they see the product they like, they just click buy. There's no click friction. And
one final question, I guess, is like when they're going through your system, when they click on the ad, does it go through your system or does it go directly to Amazon? So what I'm saying is, can you repixel them with other things and then retarget them because it's going through a forwarder link, or what can you do?
Yeah, you can't do that with Google Ads. Okay. It's really a bad practice to do because what happens is Google reads the landing page. So if you try to send them to a squeeze page or a splash page or something like that, Google says, we don't really know what's happening here. There's nothing on that page. That's a bad ad. And you get bad ad scores. You get higher cost per clicks. And it's a bad experience. So we send it directly to Amazon. And that works really, really well because it allows Google to have a better understanding of where this traffic's going. So you get better quality scores.
Awesome. That's really cool. Unfortunately, you can't do that because that would be really cool if we could like send them through a Facebook pixel, Google pixel, retarget them for the rest of the time. But I guess Google wants you to buy every single click through them.
It would be great to be able to do it, but we just know that's a bad practice to do. And Google just doesn't like that. What is great though, is you do get retargeting from Amazon already. The two ways that this happens is first off, like DSP. If you're using DSP, you can kind of follow that person around on Amazon domains. But we also see that when you bring in traffic now, so you bring in traffic to a product listing page, what happens is that person, if they leave, Amazon themselves, they try to that's a customer for Amazon as well as you, right? So that engages Amazon's remarketing engine to where when that person leaves and they go to other websites, Amazon will follow them around and do display ads and retargeting and bring them back into your product because Amazon says, hey, we know you were interested in that broomstick. We want you to buy that broomstick from Amazon. Come back and buy that broomstick. So you can still get retargeting. And sometimes you don't even have to pay for it, right? Because obviously you pay for DSP on Amazon domains, but when you re-engage Amazon's remarketing engine, Amazon pays for those retargeting ads.
Oh, that's cool. So broomsticks, fireworks, and candles. We're going to have an amazing add to cart next time.
Exactly.
Cool. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's really cool. We have a couple more really cool bits of the show, if it works for you, if you want to get involved.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're always trying to give back to our audience. So we have a competition every week and we're going to come up with a name for it. If you can think of a name after you've seen it, please let me know. We will we'll name it the Amped Wheel, sponsored by Amped. So it's a competition wheel. Tyler has very graciously offered to put forward a audit and directly from him for any seller that wins on this wheel. And on top of that, we have some really, really cool cash prizes and other things on the wheel. All right, so what we got? We have $5 cash. We have an Amped custom review, $20 cash, $400 reimbursements, $100 cash. So, all right, which one do you want, Tyler? Which one would you want on here? No, you don't have to.
I would want that Amped custom review. That's I would probably value that a couple $100. What it is as a seller gets started at the 30-day mark, they can reach out directly to, or they can reach out to our customer support team, mention that they won this, and then obviously show the certificate, of course. And then I would actually go through their campaigns and record a Loom video detailing how I would optimize the campaigns and how they could really improve the campaigns for month 2. So I would want that one personally.
Awesome. Cool. So we will hopefully you win that. What we're actually going to do is in 2 weeks. So after you have seen the show, if you're listening or watching, in 2 weeks, you just need to enter the competition. You enter by subscribing to the podcast or by commenting on any of the videos or anything that you see this, and you'll get automatically pulled into our spreadsheet. And best of luck. Let's spin the wheel.
The Jeopardy music, right?
This isn't even. This wasn't even staged. If it was staged, that'd be amazing. Oh, no, it wasn't staged. $5 cash. All right, so we have a winner for $5 cash. Let's spin the wheel again. Go one more time. Let's try it again. Tyler, would you be willing to have 3 prizes at this one and give it away if we draw 3 prizes for this this time?
Yeah, I would do 3. Yeah. There we go.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Let's do it. One more technical question for you then, Tyler. What do you think is like one strategic element that sellers are missing when they look at their Amazon business? We were talking about that before this call, but I mean, what do you think is just one thing they could be doing?
I think it's the brand aspect of it. I see so many sellers, and when we talk to a lot of sellers, and it seems to be the conversation historically has, and I'm sensing a shift these last few months of, how do you move more product? And with what Amazon's kind of rolling out with more brand features, I think sellers really need to start thinking about how do you sell with your brand on Amazon instead of just moving more product. How do you grow your brand and move more product? And, we see it with Amazon allowing those storefront pages, and you can set those storefront pages up to look pretty much exactly like a Shopify store or any other direct consumer store. And so when Amazon lets you do things like that, that's a pretty good indication. Then you have other tools that are kind of still developing, but the ability to send templated emails to anyone that follows your brand. I mean, if you can do that, there's such an opportunity to relaunch or to launch new products, to resell customers and people that already like your brand. Now you're starting to get into like traditional D2C brand building strategies that you've never been able to do on Amazon before, because Amazon's always owned the customer. So as we kind of watch what Amazon allows sellers to do more and more from a brand standpoint, I really think those opportunities are there to, sell with your brand. We see it too, to where, a lot of sellers have started talking about, how do I tell the story of, I'm a small business, or, why I built this product, or why I brought this product to market. There's reasons sellers sell on Amazon, and people want to lead with that motion. And now you can do that. You can tell that story with your storefront. I think the difficult part is on Amazon, it's really difficult to get traffic to your Amazon storefronts because sponsored ads go to the product listings. They do have the brand ads, but those are newer. But again, they're new, and it's a newer feature that Amazon's letting sellers use. External traffic, whether it's Google ads, whether it's social or influencers, sending all that ads to a well built out Amazon storefront is a really good opportunity, and a way that I think sellers really should start thinking about, lead with your brand, sell with your brand. And as a result, you'll probably be able to sell more products.
That's a great tip. That's really cool. All right. So we have one more round of rapid fire questions. These are always the fun ones. All right. So idea is you get 2 seconds to answer each question, and we'll just keep going. There's 8 of them. Okay. So are you ready, Tyler?
Let's see it.
All right. What is your favorite Amazon niche?
Household items.
If you could choose no pictures or no reviews, which would you pick?
No pictures.
Name a country that starts with the letter A.
America. Got that one.
Is America a country? Which Amazon marketplace is the next big opportunity?
Japan.
Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Name something appealing about working from home.
Wearing shorts.
Organic sales or ad sales?
Organic sales.
Name something you'd hate to find swimming around in your bathtub.
A snake.
Okay, you have completed it.
I think I got most of those in less than 2 seconds. Just the first one. First one.
It's a hard one.
I got no rhythm.
And then we have to debate if America's a country or a continent with the United States. I'm not sure.
Yep. Yep, I guess so. The short version of the United States of America.
America. Awesome.
Yeah, I should have just said Merca.
Merca. Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much. So Tyler, how can people contact you and reach out to you, follow you? Where are you in the internet world?
Yeah, definitely. So best place for us as a company is amped.io. That's ampd.io. Also follow us on LinkedIn, and we also have a Facebook users group. If you sign up for Amped, you get accepted into that Facebook users group as well. Pretty good foundation there. Something we always want to, we tell all of our Facebook users and followers all the new features and early access and all that stuff. So I'd love to have people join there. And then I'm on LinkedIn as well. I try to engage with as many sellers as possible. I'm not super active on my own posts, but if you reach out to me, I'll definitely connect with you, and happy to, chat and engage and kind of private messages there as well. And then if you have any questions for amp.io, we have a customer support channel on our website, or if you just want to email info@amped.io, that's ampd.io. We've got a really great customer success team that can answer your questions. We also do live onboarding sessions for all new customers or anyone interested in joining. So you can come join that even before you sign up for Amped. And I actually host that each week, to where we kind of go through, the foundational principles of Google, why it's important, if it's right for your business. And it's a really, really great way to do a quick kind of what's AMP all about? Should I do this or not? Before you even make a decision on whether to start on Google Ads or not.
Cool. And is that the same time each week?
It is the same time each week. Yeah. So we actually run 3 parts. So it's training 1, 2, and 3. They're designed for week 1, week 2, and week 3 of your campaigns to help people that have never done Google Ads before to understand what to do. So obviously week 2 and 3, probably good to have a campaign up and running. But week 1 is, even if you haven't even started, it's a great time to kind of get your intro.
No, I love that. And I wouldn't say that about every service and everything I've ever heard of, but it sounds super valuable, and I would definitely do it if I was going to do Facebook ads for any products that I had. Yeah.
We kind of rolled it out because we had so many questions, and we just realized, I was getting on having the same conversation over and over again. Right. So how do you scale this? How do you service hundreds, thousands of customers that have never done Google Ads before? And so we put this together, and really great attendance, really good engagement because we do live Q&A as well. So it's a great spot. If you have any questions that you just want to ask someone directly, come on, listen in, type in your questions, and I'll answer them live.
Cool. Thanks, Tyler. So, first, thank you to the audience, and thank you to everyone watching the show. Please submit your questions, comments, any feedback so that we can answer them at the next live show or the next Q&A. And thank you, Tyler, so much for taking the time to come on board and be our strategist on the Amazon Strategist Show.
Awesome, John. Thanks so much for having me. And hopefully this was educational for your audience, and looking forward to working with any of them if they decide that they do want to give Google Ads a go.
Thank you.